One of my friends sent me a picture of the crime scene and told me I killed my grandparents, so I snapped my phone in half so they can trace it.
Okay.
I'm not a stupid person.
I know you're not.
I'm a very smart criminal.
What it is, guys? It's your boy BlastphamousHD, aka Tyrone Powell, aka the Black Hammer, for fighting purposes. And today, for your viewing pleasure, we have a video you guys have sent to me in the DMs of the Discord. When a killer thinks he's a genius. Let's do this.
I didn't know what to do anymore, so I just snapped. See my grandpa's head? Boom, pull the bolt back. I'm thinking, how fast am I gonna run? I was like, if anyone in that house deserved it, I did. He just dropped, and I heard blood just pouring out of his head. He's assaulted me before. He's done so many different things wrong to me. My grandma looks over and she's like, what's going on? Boom.
Hey, this is an emergency. We noticed a window off the side, and one person went in and looked and discovered a body.
Okay, do you know who it is?
Yes, exactly. Janet and Rick Sweet.
On May 13th, 2012, the family of Rick and Janet Sweet made a horrific discovery at the couple's home in Manchester, Iowa.
This is Rick and Morty?
They had no idea the dark secrets that were soon to be uncovered. But in this twisted case, it was the police who were left shocked at the admissions of a too-honest killer. A killer who you will hear from in an exclusive, never-before-heard interview. The relatives of Rick and Janet Sweet had planned to celebrate Mother's Day, as was their yearly tradition. But as the family approached the house that day, they instantaneously felt that something was very wrong. This feeling was confirmed when they knocked on the door and no one answered. Immediately, they noticed that one of the windows had been shattered, but in no way could they predict the gruesome findings that lay inside. Peering through the broken glass, they glimpsed a horrifying sight. Rick and Janet were inside, both in pools of blood on their couch, murdered in their own home.
Damn.
Shocked and in a panic, a call to 911 was quickly made.
There is certainly a body inside, and I noticed a gunshot through the window, and so rather than go in and explore, we're calling you.
But a burning question lingered in the air. Who could have committed such an evil act? The horror of the discovery was made all the worse as the investigation began. Rick and Janet's family members quickly informed the police that there was one person still unaccounted for, the couple's 17-year-old grandson, Isaiah Sweet, who lived in the home with them. Fearing that he may have met a similarly grisly end, authorities began looking for the missing teen, but they never could have imagined what they would uncover when they finally caught up with Isaiah. On May 14th, the day after the bodies were found, Isaiah was finally located in Cedar Rapids after previously driving 75 miles to...
This nigga went to an amusement park? What type of shit? Did he at least steal their money first? If Cedar Rapids is anything like Cedar Point, that shit is expensive. Universal Studios is a better option for me. They got dinosaurs and shit.
Iowa City. Apparently, the teenager was spotted walking towards a park and was quickly pursued by nearby officers. Isaiah seemingly tried to outrun them, but quickly surrendered once he heard the sound of police dogs on his trail. Now knowing that no harm had come to Isaiah, at least not the kind that his grandparents had suffered, the police were eager to hear if he had any insight into the horrific crime.
Oh boy.
He was promptly brought in for an interview. You'll notice that Isaiah is in handcuffs, and you'll soon understand why.
Put those things off you. Probably feel a little bit better.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna be good with me, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
The detective offers to remove Isaiah's handcuffs as a gesture of goodwill and to try and build positive rapport with him.
That's only because he's small. They wouldn't remove my cuffs.
This also serves the purpose of removing the constant reminder that Isaiah is in police custody, which may help him feel more comfortable.
Why don't we shut this thing for privacy, okay?
Yes, sir.
Grab some of that food, okay, Isaiah? Isaiah, since we haven't officially met, hey,
eat that burger.
my name's
Eat
Scott
them fries.
Reader, okay? I'm a
Yep,
agent
get
with the
all
IODC.
that.
I am a police officer.
Yeah.
I don't look like it, but
Yeah, get that drink up in
this
you.
is a little bit more
Yeah,
comfortable for me.
get that
After this,
milkshake.
is there a way to go to the
That's a
hospital
milkshake
for
right
this?
there.
I cut it open on a rusty fence, and I'm
Absolutely.
pretty sure I'm worried about
Yeah.
tetanus.
Yep, nope, absolutely.
Yeah.
Isaiah isn't being interviewed in a typical interrogation room, but instead is in what appears to be the detective's office. This isn't ideal, as there are numerous distractions that will be a constant reminder of where he is.
I'm going to show you this here. This is called a statement of rights and an acknowledgement of a waiver, okay?
Right to remain silent. Anything I say can and will be used against me in a court of law. Right to an attorney if I cannot afford one will be appointed to me.
You've got those things down already,
yes, sir.
don't you? Okay, let me read these to you. Is that all right?
All
right.
Isaiah may be trying to show off or appear smart by reciting his Miranda rights. However, all he's done is prove
the last thing you ever want to be perceived as by the police is smart. Realer words were never spoken.
that he's quite familiar with the criminal justice process, possibly due to past encounters with police. Regardless, it's the detective who must read Isaiah his Miranda rights, and he agrees to continue talking without a lawyer being present.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, bow down. When was the last time you had something to eat?
4 days ago.
You haven't eaten anything in 4 days? Right. And we got more food, so if you wallow that stuff down, you want to keep going, we've got more food, we can keep it coming.
Damn, you guys make me feel like I didn't do anything wrong.
Why do you say that?
Well, let's put it like this. I'm not going to be lying to you guys about anything you ask me.
And I appreciate that.
No problem.
Okay.
Isaiah appears to be taken off guard by the warm treatment from the detective, especially when it comes to being offered additional food. This puts the detective in a very good position, and Isaiah may be more inclined to give him the information he wants to continue to receive this kind of treatment.
They're not going to take this from me, are they?
What is it?
This is a real Rolex.
Okay, where'd you get that from?
I found it in a hobo's tent.
Down there?
Yeah, in CR.
Okay, we'll just keep it up there and we'll probably deal with that later.
Cops,
You
there
stole
was
that
like 4 or
from
5
his
cops.
grandmother.
In Cambridge?
Yep. Looking for me.
Okay.
And one of them came up to me, started talking to me, asked if I knew where I was. And I was like, no.
So he didn't recognize you
Yeah,
at
I was
all?
like, no, I don't even know where he's at. Like, I have my hair back to here.
Now, what would have been one of the reasons you were pulling your hair back?
Trying to not be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
At first, he was asking if I saw the other cops, and I was like, nope. And then he was like, do you know who Isaiah Sweet is? And I was like, no idea.
Not a clue who that is.
Yeah.
What are you thinking the whole time he's asking that?
I'm thinking, how fast am I going to run? As soon as he walks away from me.
What I want you to do right now is just kind of relax, go ahead and eat that food, kind of mound down. Like I said, I want to kind of start and kind of walk back through some things first.
All right.
Okay?
More than anything, I want to know what
sandwich is
brought
that?
me to what I did, what's wrong with me.
Sure. Then, you know...
I'm about to start bawling.
Okay. Hey,
Message.
Isaiah, if you cry, that's totally fine, man. I respect that, okay?
I want to go back so bad.
How come?
Because I loved them.
Yeah, motherfucker what?
So
Motherfucker
much.
what?
They didn't deserve that.
Oh boy,
How come
they didn't deserve it? Oh boy, because they took care of you.
That house deserved it, I did. More than anyone.
Because you went, yeah, because you wasn't shit.
You take your time, brother.
They
Oh
raised
boy.
me since I was 4.
Yeah, they
Never
raised
paid
you.
them.
Oh, they raised him. Oh, what they did so much for him. What no?
Janet and Rick had taken custody of Isaiah when he was just 4 years old, due to their daughter's inability to care for him. Stacy Sweet, Isaiah's mother, had allegedly suffered from substance abuse and could no longer support her young son.
Oh!
But her parents were more than willing to take him into their home. Immediately, Isaiah will answer one of the questions looming over the investigation. But even with this reveal, there are even more disturbing questions left to be uncovered.
When we asked Isaiah from your core, what's the reason why you murdered your loving family members who took care of you? He said, because they thought they were better than me. I mean, wouldn't take my shit. I mean, wouldn't kiss my ass. I mean, crabs in a barrel. I mean,
When you say what happened that
boondocks.
night at the house, what happened?
Shot.
I didn't get my way.
Okay.
They took my Xbox.
What'd you shoot him with, Isaiah?
The assault rifle.
An assault rifle? You remember what it looks like?
Black.
Okay. What,
Black, bolt action,
What do you mean?
10 or more round clip. It's
What do you mean? Black?
Czechoslovakian.
Okay.
AR-15.
Okay. Okay. It takes a lot to admit that, Isaiah. Okay. That's not an easy thing to do. Okay, and Isaiah,
I'm not
this
gonna
is...
play dumb with you.
Okay, and I appreciate that.
Although Isaiah has just admitted to killing his grandparents, the detective so desperately wants to get to the bottom of how this horrific crime came to be. In doing so, he ensures that there is nothing preventing Isaiah from answering any question that may be thrown his way.
How you feeling, right? I mean, you're with me right now,
feel like
right?
I don't really know like much, but
Okay, well, let me ask you this, Isaiah. You understand who I am.
yes, sir.
You understand I'm a police officer.
Yes, sir.
You understand that the guys who brought you up here, why they had to
Yes,
find
sir.
you, okay, and they brought you up there. There's nothing medically right now that's preventing you to talk to me,
No, sir.
right? But you understand the questions I'm asking you right now, okay? There's no question that you're not smart enough to handle these
I'm
questions.
extremely intelligent.
Okay. And you know what? I get that. I think you
I
are.
just make stupid choices.
Motherfucker!
And sometimes we do, Isaiah.
God
Look at me.
I'm never gonna be able to go back on it.
damn!
And that's, you know what, Isaiah, part of this is that what you're doing today by telling me the whole truth as far as what
Did you know that it's been scientifically proven that every stupid person thinks they're smart? Every single one of them. Look it up. It's a fact. Oh boy.
happened, not only what's leading up to it, but what happened during it. I know it's going to be tough to walk through, but we need to do that, okay? And then we need to talk about what happened afterwards, okay? All the details we need with this is your chance to start healing yourself on the inside. Walk me through Friday. What's going on Friday? Walk me through the time you wake up on Friday morning. We'll kind of walk through those.
When someone's gaze drifts to the left after they're asked a question, this generally indicates that there is some inner dialogue going on in their head. This doesn't necessarily mean they're being
I like this
deceptive. However, detectives will take note of this behavior.
I gaze to the right.
I sat at home on house
Reminisce.
arrest all day.
Okay,
And
were
then-
Grandpa and Grandma home?
And then
I had a
went down
nasty
to the
dream last
basement.
night, and what happened was it was all
There's a door that goes into the garage from the basement. I went up to the garage and then went to the room, took the assault rifle out of the room.
I didn't have a nasty
And then
dream. I
went
went.
with 10
I had a
bullets,
dream about fighting.
walked up
and
the
stuff. It was
stairs,
pretty fun dream.
took like a
X-Men
point like this,
superpowers and shit.
had earmuffs on and everything. I took a point like this, stepped up one stair so I could see my grandpa's head. Boom, pulled the trigger back, pulled the bolt back, shot my grandpa twice in the head.
Where was your grandpa sitting?
They were both sitting on the couch.
Okay, and where were you at?
I was on the stairs coming up
Like coming up from that landing? Okay, because I've heard, I haven't been inside your house, but you know, some of the guys were up there the other day and they're kind of going through it.
hollow point assault rifle rounds. And then
Okay.
I went up to him and I just broke down, started crying. I told him how much I loved him.
Apparently, the teenager was heading down a tumultuous path filled with partying, substance abuse, and rebellious behavior. During his high school years, Isaiah had supposedly begun to fraternize with a crowd of older kids, where he used substances such as marijuana and methamphetamine. Along with this, he allegedly possessed severe learning disabilities, making his education all the tougher to accomplish. Unfortunately, this only led to further issues, as Isaiah dropped out of high school at the age of 16. It seemed that after this, the unruly teen's dangerous actions were beginning to manifest at home.
Yeah.
During the course of the last year leading up to the horrendous crime, Janet and Rick had called the police 18 separate times on account of Isaiah's unpredictable nature.
Damn.
On one occasion, that in hindsight would
Damn.
foreshadow the events that followed, Isaiah threatened to kill his grandfather and hurt his grandmother, along with burning the house down. On September 8, 2011, police once again made their way to the infamous house to try and stop the emerging incident. They instructed Isaiah to calm down, but instead of obeying the command, the angry teenager retaliated by going at his grandparents once more before being handcuffed and placed on a couch. It's reported that once calm, Isaiah was informed that he would be charged if the officers had to return to the house. Numerous other encounters consisted of the same nature: violence, substance use,
Fuck you,
and
Mom.
threats.
I
At
can
one
drink
point,
out of
Isaiah was
I used to be
supposedly
able to drink out
threatening
of
Rick and
orange
Janet
juice.
so much
I
that they
am
wanted
a
him to
real
be placed in
person.
foster
I
care.
deserve the things.
But they were promptly
I
notified
didn't
that
have
this
to work
wasn't an
for you
option,
to treat me
as
like I'm
Isaiah's
the
mother
man.
would have to be the one to take him in, which the grandparents did not want. On April 11, 2012, the most recent call to the police was made due to the fact that the teenager was using a lighter and aerosol to make a blowtorch inside the house.
I mean,
when police arrived, Janet insisted that rather than arresting Isaiah, she simply wanted him under control.
No, that's
the
not gonna
officers
happen.
helped to calm the situation before
That's
they
not how
left
that
without
works.
incident.
No.
Another call to law enforcement occurred when the grandparents
That's not how that
suspected that Isaiah had been using illegal substances, which was confirmed once a search discovered a marijuana pipe within the residence.
Okay.
Despite the history of
using
police
marijuana,
calls,
okay.
Isaiah tells a very different story of this turbulent period in his life,
Okay,
and you'll
look
hear
at
it
you. Why
all
were
for
you using
yourself.
marijuana?
I've tried to kill myself every single night since it happened.
Why didn't you just do that before you murder your grandparents? Doesn't that make more sense?
Time, man.
It's possible that Isaiah is seeking attention or sympathy from the
Yeah,
detective.
seeking the sympathy. Seeking attention and
I just
sympathy.
want to know what's wrong with me.
Nigga.
Well, would you
wants
agree?
people to feel sorry.
There's nothing wrong with it,
Man, look,
Isaiah.
there's nothing
Would you
wrong
agree
with
with me on that?
nigga.
From this standpoint, Isaiah, look at me, okay? Okay? I don't think that there's anything wrong with you.
I'm just going to prison for the rest.
You're going to
Well,
prison
Isaiah,
for the
let's
rest
not
of your
focus
life,
on that
man.
right now. Let's
Because
focus
you're
on one
acting
getting
like a
past
little
this thing
niglet.
right now as far as what
You're
happened,
being
okay?
kind of a niglet right
If you can
now.
focus on those details with me, okay, we'll worry about all that other stuff later. Okay? You're a normal, smart kid, right?
Nigga.
Okay, you're not in your head at me, yes, all right? And I've spent the last 2 days with a bunch of our other agents. We've been talking to people that know you.
Calling a
I haven't
shitty
heard one
child a
person that
niglet,
said, you know
regardless
what,
of what
that
their
guy's a
color,
moron. You're a
is
smart guy.
always prime
Would you
entertainment for
agree?
me. I don't know about you.
We've talked to all your friends.
Look,
okay?
somebody
People
better
that used
come
to know
get their
you from school.
niglet. Somebody better come get their
Okay,
little
and
niglet.
Isaiah, the story that they're telling us is that you're a pretty smart kid. Would you agree?
Really intelligent.
Yeah,
shit up.
okay, so I don't think that there's
I
anything
took an
wrong.
ACT pre-test. Stick got a 32.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. But you agree with me, there's nothing wrong with you, right?
Just whatever came over me other than that, though.
Came
Okay.
over you.
The detective may be trying to confirm that there is nothing wrong with Isaiah that could potentially indicate that he was not in his right mind when he committed the murders.
Oh
At
boy.
the same time, it's possible that he's flattering Isaiah about his intelligence as a
Yeah.
way to build
Yeah,
rapport.
trick this dumbass into saying
Let me
some
ask you about
shit.
this. I think you mentioned that you went downstairs into the basement.
Yeah, you smart. You smart.
Which did you go for first? Did you go for the rifle or did you go for the ammunition? Walk me through that.
Okay. When I went downstairs, first, I was just going to hit them both in the head with a bat.
That's
So it
better.
wouldn't be so messy, you know.
That's
It
better.
wouldn't be gunshot from an extremely loud assault rifle.
Sure. What's going through your mind when you're making that choice?
When I came up right behind my grandpa when he was washing dishes with a bat in my hand. I put it right behind his head. Came back like this, and I couldn't do it.
That night?
Yeah.
Okay, did he notice you were back
Nope.
there?
And I came up behind him about 15 different times, and he didn't notice me once.
What about your grandma?
Nope.
Emotionally, it would be much more difficult to kill someone with an object like a bat or knife. It would most likely take numerous strikes to actually kill the victim, so the perpetrator would see their facial expressions and reactions as they were attacked. This may have been part of the reason why Isaiah chose a murder weapon that would almost guarantee a quick finish. It also creates physical distance between the perpetrator and the victim, making it easier to carry out the act.
Coward.
Okay, where was grandma at?
She was out in the room.
What was she doing? She was sleeping. Okay.
The gunshot woke her up.
Okay. The gunshot when you shot your grandpa?
She didn't know what to do. She looked over at her husband. His brain was hanging out of his head. Like, I'm not even being exaggerative at all.
Sure, and I wasn't up there.
Like, this whole part of his head right here was gone. And then my grandma's right here, all that was gone.
Okay. Did when you, and we're kind of getting away from that. I know we're going to do that. Okay.
Man,
Go ahead and
bro,
take a
them
piece and
waffles.
buy your sandwich. It'll kind of help calm you down a little bit too.
Yeah, you gonna need that nigga.
When you went down to go
My nigga
get, you
going
went
to
and
the
got
booty
the ammo
house.
first, right? You went and got
I went, got the gun.
No.
Okay, this was after
No,
I had
this nigga going to the booty
get out
house,
with the bat.
nigga.
Okay.
Went, got the
Oh,
assault rifle.
hell no.
Brought it down in the basement, got in the ammo box, it's in the basement. There's over 3,000 rounds for that assault rifle in there.
Does he keep his ammo down there? So you knew his ammunition was downstairs. Yep. Okay. Does he keep it under lock and key or?
Nope.
Okay, so you knew that you'd have free access to it. Okay. And so what did you do next?
Got the hollow point rounds because I knew they'd do the most damage.
When asked by the detective why he chose the hollow points, Isaiah states that he didn't want his grandparents to go through any pain, indicating that he didn't intend to injure or maim them, but in fact, clearly wanted them to die.
Yeah.
So you knew that the solid ones, they might have lived through those.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't want that.
Yeah. But what shot my grandpa, he just dropped, and I heard blood just pouring out of his head. My grandma looks over, and she's like, "What's going on?" Boom. Shot right there, grazed her head, and she was still moving, so I shot her right here through her head.
How close were you, Isaiah?
I could have made the shot for 300 yards. I'm an amazing shot, but I was probably only 10, 15 feet away, if that.
Okay.
Well, honestly, from the barrel of the gun to my grandpa's head, 6, 8 feet.
Next, the detective asks Isaiah why he wasn't able to go through with using the bat as the murder weapon.
Why'd you stop? Why didn't you use the bat?
Bring myself to put them through any sort of pain.
Okay. And I think you mentioned it would have been too messy too, right?
No, I didn't want it to be messy.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to do it with a bat.
Okay. Did you think the bat would be a cleaner way to kill him?
Cleaner.
Okay. Had you done any research on the internet about this, or?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What kind of websites did you go to?
Let's put it like this. I was
Can't
typing
find
in
that
the
on
best way to
Pornhub.
kill somebody and all this.
Nope. They ain't even
And
got
if
that
I
on
would have waited
Backpage.
one more day, I would have killed him.
They do got that on Craigslist though. So hey, look, holla at me if shit. We gonna edit that out. That don't holla at me for that. I ain't into snuff stuff. And we gonna edit that in. We gonna leave that one in there. That's
Cleanest way possible.
Which is what?
Nicotine poisoning.
snuff stuff.
And Isaiah, you understand that these are your grandparents.
I didn't expect the audio to cut out at that
You know
point.
that they're
That's not
human
my
beings,
fault.
they're people, right?
Y'all did that damage.
Not
Y'all were
mad at
listening.
me, yeah.
Y'all helped do that damage.
Okay. Is there any particular time why you only shot Grandpa once?
Because I heard blood pouring out of his head like
So you
a
knew
fire hydrant.
You knew he was dead.
Oh, no.
Okay. And why the 2 shots with Grandma?
She moved right after I shot her.
Okay. Did she look at you? Or did she say anything after you
She
shot
like
her?
twitched, and I thought maybe it's probably just the twitch they get after they die, where they just like excreate on themselves. Or
Sure.
whatever. But
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
I just wanted to make sure
Yep.
she was the only
Don't
one
drop
that
the soap,
actually
homie.
did.
Okay.
You gonna need that. You better
So
start
you
doing
think you were
push-ups
closer to your
right
grandma
now.
than your grandpa?
Oh, he gonna be
How long you been living
he
with
gonna
him?
be Miss New Booty in prison. You know what I mean? Like with Bubba Sparks,
Honestly, it
Shala
was
Park.
George myself that night.
Booty. That's
Uh-huh.
gonna be him.
He said
Rocking
he deserved
everywhere.
it, and I did.
Yeah. Oh,
When it's over, okay, and
Nigga,
you
you
know,
shot them and
you
went
know
to the
that they-
park.
Did you check to see if they had a pulse? Did you check them at all?
My grandma's whole side of her face was blown off, and so was
Okay.
his. So like his brain was like on the coffee
Okay,
table.
but you didn't go over
Yeah.
and just to double
I
check.
kissed both of them and then packed my left
Okay, why'd you kiss them?
because I love them.
Kissing
Mother-
his grandparents after killing them could be an indication that Isaiah may have had some sort of emotional response after all. But at the same time, he may be lying, as he would have likely gotten blood on his face or clothes, and he made no mention of changing before packing his bag and leaving. If he is lying, he may be trying to present himself to the detective as remorseful or caring. Furthering this, Isaiah then states that after he had committed the unthinkable acts, he prayed for forgiveness.
Did you pray for forgiveness because you knew what you did was wrong?
Right away, I just did. Right away, I wanted to take it back. I don't know why I did it.
After that, you said you packed up some stuff and then you left. How much time did you spend in the house after they were shot?
Half an hour.
Okay.
Drove straight to Cedar Rapids. Met up with my ex-girlfriend. Then I threw the assault rifle out on 13.
Okay.
I really hope you guys got the image of the cat meme in your mind when I'm doing all this face work just now. Like, bro, word, like.
On Highway 13
Yep.
or?
Didn't see it on the way back, so.
Okay.
I figure if someone sees a really nice gun laying on the side,
They'll probably pick it up. Okay.
I'm surprised the police didn't find him for me.
Okay. Well, and we'll talk about that too. Okay.
This signals that the detective may already have knowledge regarding the murder weapon, and the police might even have it in their possession.
As you're getting stuff ready in the house, did you pick up any stuff? Take anything out?
Xbox, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch at
This
least.
is the first time that there is a long pause prior to Isaiah responding. Long pauses are often associated with deception, especially if it's not typical of the person's speech patterns. When he finally gathers his thoughts, Isaiah states that he took his TV, knives, hydrocodone pills, and $9 from his grandparents after killing them. He goes on to describe what he did following the crime, which shockingly consisted of going to numerous parties with friends.
Are you wearing the same clothes that you were wearing Friday night?
Yes, sir.
So these are the same clothes that
Yes, sir.
you shot
Cops took
Grandpa
all
and
my
Grandma?
clothes. That's in the impound.
Okay.
Why
Well, are
didn't you
these
just
the clothes
run
that
away
you were wearing
then?
when you shot your Grandpa and Grandma?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any blood on them?
From my finger.
Okay. What happened to your finger? Oh, from that. But I mean from your.
Oh,
Grandpa and
actually, I was wearing sweatpants and no shirt when I shot him.
Grandma. Okay.
Because I didn't want to get blood on these jeans or the shirt.
Because they're nice jeans.
There's no blood on anything. I made sure I didn't get any sort of DNA from either of them on me.
Okay.
This is a direct contradiction to his previous confession of kissing his grandparents after having shot them. If his claim of not wanting to get any blood or DNA on him is true, then he probably wouldn't have physically touched the victims.
Where did the blood go when you shot him?
Everywhere. Like,
What?
blood. Everywhere. Chunks of... Like, the house is massive. And there was, like, points where it's like, here's the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's go to the kitchen 15 feet away, and there's a chunk of this big laying in there.
Can you go look at it?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I picked it up and I looked at it, and I could see it was from my grandma.
Didn't that freak you out a little bit? Kinda.
I was like, oh, well, I'm a psychotic murderer anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
But you're not psychotic. I know you're not psychotic.
People often
Smart. This guy is smart. By telling the guy that he's not psychotic, he's lowering the chances of him having an emotional outburst, thus him not being able to tell him more of why he did what he did. This guy is smart.
think that any murderer is psychotic, when in actuality, psychotic refers to a specific set of symptoms which may or may not be present in a killer. Psychotic generally refers to psychosis, which involves someone losing touch with reality. A person with psychosis may have hallucinations or delusions and is unable to distinguish between real life and the world inside their head. Isaiah hasn't reported any symptoms of psychosis, and he appears to be well aware of what he did, both at the time of the murders and now. The detective likely wants to put on record that Isaiah understands he was not psychotic when he killed his grandparents, so that it can be presented as evidence when the case goes to court.
I feel really good about myself being so compliant, though.
You should. I mean, and here's one of the things too, Isaiah. And I want to make sure that this is abundantly clear. Is that I know that as we talk through these things, don't embellish anything with me. Okay, you got to shoot me straight. Okay, I need to know. Okay, who was over at the house, who you talked to, and it's not you snitching. You know what that is? It's you telling me the truth.
Are they going to get arrested?
I have no control over whether or not they're going to
All
be
right,
arrested.
here, let's put it like this. There was one more gun, and I took that, but I didn't use it.
What gun was that?
Sawn off 12 gauge.
Okay, what'd you do with that?
Sold it.
Okay.
And then I gave the assault rifle to Brandon Allers, gave the TV to Brandon Allers.
So you didn't throw it? You didn't throw away
Nope.
the gun?
And
Okay.
that's the guy that
They
helped,
transported
that
it out
told
of
him.
town right away.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
how
the guy
come
that
they
told him
transported it out of
he
town?
Okay, they
should
didn't
do
want
it.
hot guns.
Did you tell them it was hot?
They knew I'd killed my grandparents. They came in the house right after it happened.
Oh!
And why would Brandon be going over to your house on
He
Sunday?
wanted to steal the truck. The white truck.
Okay.
He wanted that white truck.
Did he talk to you about that?
Yep.
How did he talk to you about it?
He wanted to know where the title was. He wanted to know where everything was. Other it was my ass.
Okay. And did he tell you that, I mean, had you told him that you'd killed your grandparents?
Otherwise, it was your
And
ass.
what did he say?
He was
So
the one
you
who gave me
mean
the
to tell
nicotine
me
poisoning suggestion.
You're already
I thought you
Miss
said
New
you got
Booty?
that over the internet.
This nigga already out here
I
new
wasn't.
bootying.
It's possible that rather than protecting other people as he claimed, he left this part out of the story for self-serving reasons. He may have known that there was no explanation for people being in the house after the murders that would fit with his narrative to the detective about how he was immediately remorseful.
If somebody told you what to do, I need to know that. If you found on the internet, I need to know that. But don't mix those two up, okay? You gotta shoot straight with me.
He told me about all this, and I looked it up on the internet.
Okay, when did he tell you about that?
Same day, Friday.
On Friday?
Yep.
What did you tell him?
I told him I just planned on killing him, taking some, leaving. He was like, "You're gonna give me that assault rifle," and that sawed-off.
Isaiah tells the detective that immediately after shooting his grandparents, he went to pick up Damien, a friend of his, before supposedly bringing him to the crime scene. That fact that Isaiah brought his friend over to the house after committing the brutal act is disturbing to say the least. Isaiah now tells the detective that he took a sawed-off shotgun, a knife, the rifle, the truck, all of his toiletries, the TV, and some clothes from the house. Afterward, he drove Damien back to the house of their friend, Brandon's girlfriends. Then another detective enters the room with food for Isaiah before the two make small talk.
Nigga!
Well, honestly, I broke my phone in half a couple nights ago. Dalton calls me and he's like, "You killed your grandparents." And I was like, "Nope, never happened." Just denied it all because one of my friends calling. I thought he was just with me, and then this girl sends me a picture of News Squad and a bunch of cops in front of my house. So I snapped my phone in half.
As they talk, Isaiah mentions something particularly tragic.
My mom doesn't even know what's going on right now. Kind of worried about that, but sure. Oh well.
That's understandable. It's your mom.
Yeah.
When was
She
the last
doesn't even
time
know
you
her
talked to
parents
her?
are dead.
Oh, she doesn't know at all?
No, she doesn't know her parents are dead.
When was the last time you talked to her?
Probably 2-3 hours before I snapped my phone, I called her.
Okay.
She was pretty much the only person I didn't tell the real story to.
Okay.
I told her
on!
And a few of my friends, I was like, "Oh, I sold the truck and just left."
Sure.
A couple of them, "Oh, I killed my grandparents." "Oh, well, let me come over to the house and loot."
Isaiah's stories seem to be rather jumbled, but this could be out of anxiety from the interrogation, or the fact that he knows he is caught and there's no way out at this point. When the first detective enters the room again, he begins to question Isaiah's tale regarding his apprehension.
Why you run from the cops? What were you afraid of?
One of my friends in CR told me that they were going to handle me extremely roughly because I did what I did.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get tased or...
Sure.
I just wanted to get shot.
Why'd you want to get shot?
So that I wouldn't have to...
Okay. Why didn't you want to kill yourself?
Because it was too damn hard. It just didn't work, ever.
Just didn't work.
Never works.
Okay.
I just think God wants me here for some damn reason.
Okay. Why?
Motherfucker said God. I'm not even gonna deal with this today.
Why do you think then it was okay to shoot your grandparents, but not yourself? I mean, that's a tough question to ask, right?
Yeah.
I know it's a sign.
It wasn't okay.
It wasn't okay, was it?
However, his claim about wanting to get shot is incongruent with his behavior of coming forward with his hands up when he was surrounded by police. Isaiah may be once again looking for sympathy from the detective by saying that he wanted them to kill him. Despite Isaiah's confession of his actions before, during, and after the shootings, he still has yet to state exactly why he killed his grandparents.
Did you look outside to see if any of the neighbors lights?
Yeah.
Okay, how come? Well, I mean, why'd you look outside?
Because I wanted... Well, I took a shower and packed everything up. I wanted to make sure no neighbors would like, "Call the cops, holy shit."
Did you watch? I mean, did you check yourself for... Did you see if you got any blood on you or anything?
I had nothing on me.
Nothing? I mean, did you look
I was
yourself in the mirror?
I was far enough away to a point where nothing... Like, all the stuff they all went that way and I was this way.
Okay.
I mean, there's probably some traces of guts and brains on my feet because I kept stepping on people and it was really gross feeling.
What were you... I mean, were you barefoot when you shot him? Mm-hmm. Okay. And you haven't washed your feet or anything since then? Okay.
Well, no, I did take a shower at my therapist. Scratch that.
This negates Isaiah's previous statement that he took a shower at his house immediately after the shooting, and is yet another hiccup in his story. He goes on to explain how his therapist, Candace, is his aggression replacement therapy teacher, and is one of the few responsible adults in his life.
Please tell me he's having sex with her like a good Christian.
If not the only one. Later, however, exactly how Isaiah arrived at her home following the crime will be uncovered. And it only goes to show that wherever Isaiah was, trouble wasn't too far behind.
Oh, shit.
What's aggression replacement treatment?
Oh, tell me he didn't go over there while her boyfriend was over there and then got into issues with him.
How not to do stupid shit that gets people besides me hurt. Like
Okay.
how not to hurt people around you.
Okay.
I'd pass the class the week.
Man, therapy really looks like it's good. I mean, it works. It works. If you believe it works.
This happened.
You've been doing pretty good in the class? Good. Okay.
Isaiah states that he took the rifle, 12-gauge shotgun, and TV to Brandon's apartment in Cambridge, where the friend was allegedly going to buy the guns. Supposedly,
stole it.
Isaiah was
Yeah.
never compensated.
Duh, nigga!
As a result of Brandon's
Duh,
involvement,
nigga!
Isaiah has some concerns.
I know they're probably going to be in jail for a while for this. Are they going to go to the same building as me?
I have no idea.
Because that's what I'm really, really worried about.
I have no idea. I saw
Yeah, 'cause they're
Brandon.
gonna whoop your ass.
Really?
Yeah, I told you we were talking to your friends.
What'd you ask? What'd you
Another
talk to them
friend.
about?
We were trying to find
You
you.
the bottom.
Where
Trying
did
to
they say
find
I
out where
was?
you were at. They didn't
He's
know
a
where you
game
were at.
bottom, bro.
So, did they know
Just
where
get
you were
hold,
at
nigga.
Yeah.
the whole time?
Oh, yeah. I was
That's
in
why it's
contact
no
with
good in
them
the hood,
every
bro.
single day.
Stay out of the
Okay,
hood,
with
bro.
what?
There's no point.
My phone.
You know what I
The
mean? If you
detective
can't
informs
fight or
Isaiah
shoot,
that he
you
is
just
well
get
aware
hold.
that the teenager's cell
There's
phone
no
had
point being
abruptly
friends
been
with
shut
hood
off during the course of
motherfuckers, you know what I mean?
events on
Unless you go whoop-
Sunday, May 13th.
Unless they
But
scared
he
of
wants
you.
to hear from Isaiah just how that came to happen.
And if it is
One of my
worth-
friends sent me a picture of the crime scene and told me I killed my grandparents, so I snapped my phone in half so they could trace it.
Okay.
I'm
So
not
how
a
did
stupid
you-
person.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
I'm a
Steve.
very smart criminal.
Oh, you are.
I've got a criminal mind.
Okay.
I do.
This is likely a sign of narcissism, as Isaiah may see himself as superior and more clever than other people. And once again, the detective portrays a sense of admiration, which is likely to play into Isaiah's narcissism and
Good to
keep
keep
him
talking.
talking.
Yep.
Built that way.
I've got it in everything. Man.
So when you say you're talking to these guys, when you're kind of on the run before you broke your phone, are you texting them? Are you communicating with them on Facebook? What are you doing?
Texting, calling.
Okay. You got any access to the internet on your
Nope.
phone?
It was a flip phone. I was tweeting a storm up though, and I think I updated my Facebook status a couple times through like you can text it to Facebook.
Oh, okay. What were you updating on your Facebook?
I don't know what was on Facebook, but I know I was tweeting a bunch of random. This old black dude said that was really high, and I thought it was hilarious.
Isaiah did in fact contact his friends following the murders, even confessing to one of them his additional crime of
I have
theft,
a truck.
texting a stolen Chevy Avalanche. Cham. His friend's response, a simple LOL, followed by Isaiah's chilling return, I'm nuts.
Oh boy.
Along with this, Isaiah began to post alarming statements on Twitter, starting on May 11th, the same day of the
Tiger
murders.
won't call you back.
Isaiah
Fuck up.
stated, no excuses, no apologies, followed by, I'm dying. But his next quote was even more horrifying, as it was posted around the same time as the violent shooting was committed. At 12:10 a.m. on Saturday, May 12th, he wrote, time to live my life. The detective switches gears by inquiring about Isaiah's run-in with law enforcement on the early morning of Sunday, May 13th. You'll recall that this was the day Rick and Janet's bodies were found, 2 days after they were shot. Apparently, Isaiah had been driving two girls around Iowa City in the previous hours, making several appearances at nearby parties. As the night was coming to a close, they stopped at the fast break convenience store located on Naples Avenue, and someone in the group allegedly tried to open the locked doors of the business, thereby issuing an alarm trigger. When police arrived, Isaiah and his passenger supposedly denied any involvement, but police would later claim they were indeed lying. Not only that, but Isaiah failed to provide a valid license, as his was previously suspended for an unknown reason. In an attempt to cooperate, the passengers allegedly notified the officers that Isaiah was hiding drugs in a duffel bag within the vehicle,
Yeah, he was a bottom.
along with a hunting knife.
Yeah.
But Isaiah denied permission for law enforcement to search his truck, and instead told them that he had various drugs stashed away. Isaiah was quickly taken into police custody, where it was discovered that he launched another string of abnormal tweets. At 6 a.m. on Sunday, May 13th, he posted, "Damn, can't wait to get out of the cop shop. #6 unnecessary hours." Numerous others are too explicit to read, but nonetheless, Isaiah was not afraid to say what was on his mind. As he tweeted away on his phone at the police station, officers notified Isaiah that he could only be released upon the authorization of a legal guardian, since he was underage. The teenager swiftly realized that this was a massive issue, as his 2 legal guardians were, thanks to his doing, no longer alive. According to him, he lied and told law enforcement that his grandparents had been in Minnesota on a fishing trip and had limited cell phone service, but they would be able to get in contact with his mother. Sure enough, Stacy allowed Isaiah to be released and handed over to his therapist Candace, where Isaiah supposedly ate sausage, eggs, and hash browns and took a shower. Not too long after his short-term stay at her house, Candace seemed to find a shocking object within her residence and thought that it may have belonged to her patient, Isaiah. Immediately, she contacted the local authorities without his knowledge.
Let me ask you this, is we got a call from her today. Was there any reason that there was a .40 caliber round that was found up there?
Mm-mm.
Nothing? Did you have a handgun on you at all?
No, sir.
No .40 caliber
You
rounds?
can lie detect me for that. No,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, so a .40 caliber round that would have been found up there
Where was it found?
in her house.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No, sir.
Not from you?
No, sir.
Okay. You're sure?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Although the .40 caliber round was identified at Candace's home, it has never been confirmed as to who it belonged to. Isaiah states that his stay at his therapist's house lasted a mere hour and a half before she supposedly drove him back to the Cambridge apartments, where he met up with a girl named Alicia.
Yeah, get some ass.
Did anybody even try to go to my phone records?
That's one of the things that we commonly do, is we try and get phone records. Yep.
And if you have murder charges or something, felony like that, you can get phone records like that.
But how do you know that?
I know everything.
I know, but how do you know that? I mean, you researching it?
I know a little bit of everything about everything, honestly. Like,
Okay.
You learn something new every day.
Sure.
Isaiah appears to possess several narcissistic traits, such as being egotistical and having a grandiose sense of self. He views himself as a very smart criminal, which is incredibly ironic given that he was arrested so soon after the crime and is currently being interrogated.
Let me look back at my notes here and make sure I'm not missing anything.
If you want, I can look through them and tell you if you missed anything.
I bet you could.
It's possible that Isaiah is once again implying that he thinks he's smarter than the detective and could more easily find any mistakes. He's also likely very curious about what the detective has been writing down about him. But of course, the detective does not allow this to happen.
So who all do you think you've told about this?
Brandon?
Redacted. You showed the name, baby.
He told everyone.
Before? Or afterwards?
I don't know when he started texting people, but
Okay.
I got so many goddamn phone calls about, oh, did you kill your grandparents? I heard you killed your grandparents.
Get a little out of hand after a while.
Oh, I started freaking out on people.
When they took you into custody down there, when they finally got you, did you say you were proud of what you did?
It could be a red flag for deception that Isaiah's way of responding has changed from talking at a normal volume to suddenly shaking his head rapidly and responding quite softly.
Okay, we heard that you said, hey, I'm proud of what I did and, I got what's coming to me.
No, what I said when I got out of the car is, I thanked them for apprehending me.
Okay.
And that they did their jobs right, and I thanked them for not tasing me or letting the dog eat me.
Okay. Somebody told us that you'd... And not that this...
Somebody must have heard me wrong.
Okay.
I actually did thank them and told them I respect them a lot for what they did.
Okay. And did you say, hey, dude, I know what I got coming?
And I told them I deserved what I got coming to me.
Okay.
Thanked them for apprehending me.
Because you understand what you did with your grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it wasn't anybody else that did it. It was you.
Yep.
Right? There was nobody else in that house with you. Okay.
The detective has been concealing a rather large piece of information that goes to show that the killer teen had not been completely honest so far.
Essentially at the end of the day, and I was going to show you a picture of the gun. Would that be the gun? It's kind of a dark picture.
Yes, it is. How'd you know?
He signed it?
I know lots of things. Is that the gun that you used?
Yes.
Okay.
You guys have this gun, don't you?
Mm-hmm. How? You said earlier that you're pretty smart. We're pretty smart at what we do.
Obviously.
We do good work.
Oh, you traced my phone calls and my text messages and figured out Brandon had it.
You
We
just
ended up with the gun.
That's what counts.
Okay.
Prior to the shooting, Brandon had offered advice to Isaiah on how to use the rifle, which ultimately ended the lives of Janet and Rick. Additionally, the pair discussed other ways to kill the victims. The morning of
He's an
May
accomplice.
13th, Isaiah told Brandon that he could break into his grandparents' home and take whatever he wanted. When Brandon arrived, he snuck into the home, but supposedly left in a hurry and didn't notify the local authorities as he was allegedly nervous about the situation. Brandon eventually sold the rifle to another friend, but the gun was turned over to the police once the bodies were discovered. Still, the question of why has yet to be answered, but as Isaiah reveals what drove him to commit the ultimate crime, he loses all control.
I don't know what built up in me. I just
never have someone explain to you a situation where they went crazy. Message.
had so much stress.
Oh, woe is
Like what?
me.
My grandma was dying of cancer. My
So
grandma
you
told
killed
me
your
he-
other grandma?
every night of my life and every day. He constantly told me to just kill myself or
I
fall
don't
off
believe
the
you,
earth.
nigga.
They treated me like.
Yeah, I don't
tried
believe
so
you,
hard
nigga.
to help my grandma with everything, but my grandma made everything so hard because he'd always stress me out, scream at me for no reason. And I
Stressed
didn't
him
know
out.
what to do anymore, so I just snapped. Shot both of them and stole the truck.
And then went to a party
Okay.
and
If
got you.
Isaiah's claims are true, this type of long-term verbal and emotional abuse from his grandpa would have been extremely damaging. However, it's important to keep in mind that he could be lying in order to provide a justification for his actions. After all, he doesn't say that his grandma was abusive, and he still killed her as well. We also cannot verify any of these claims.
What did she and why did you shoot Grandpa first?
I hate it.
Why?
He's made my life a living hell.
Okay. How
Because
long
he's
had you
better
been
than
thinking
right
about
in
doing
front
it?
of him. That has to be
That
hard.
one day.
That one day?
That one day.
Okay. Nothing before, because
Well, I had thought and thought and thought, but I never really made a plan.
okay, what kind of, when you say I thought and thought and thought, what kind of things are you
I
thinking?
wanted to kill my grandpa, but I never wanted to hurt my grandma.
Yeah.
It's just I could have just left her there. Shouldn't did it.
Isaiah's legs are shaking, possibly from the anxiety of being questioned or reliving the trauma of committing a violent crime. If he had previously been a danger to himself as he claims, this could also be the cause of his notable trepidation.
Okay, and did he see it
He
coming?
didn't even notice.
I mean, where was
He
he
was
looking?
so drunk and high on his Oxycontin and hydrocodone,
Okay.
he didn't even know where.
Let me do this if I can. If you stand up real quick. If I'm your grandpa sitting over on the couch like here. Are we this close?
He was sitting like this,
Okay.
kind of down like that. I was right about here on the stairs.
Okay, so is he hunched over? Is he asleep?
Yeah, no, he's just out of it
Just like
on his
this.
drugs.
So he
Yeah, he was
hunched
hunched
like
over
this.
like. Oh, I was on the fourth or fifth stair down at first, so I could see his hair from there. When I took the first shot, I took one step up, a stair up, so I could see his whole head shot.
Where the
And
first
then-
shot hit him?
First shot straight through his head,
Right here?
right temple.
Okay. Right temple?
No, like right in the temple.
Oh, right in the temple. Okay, and what'd he do?
Smacked his face off the coffee table.
Okay. So when you're coming up the stairs, did you kind of sneak up the stairs a little bit? How
I was
come?
like,
How come?
I didn't want him to hear me.
Okay. Okay.
And then, like, as soon as
And where's Grandma?
I took this step right here, Grandma would be like 3 feet to the side
That
of you.
way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and I stepped up the first stair, took the shot, stepped up the second stair, took 2 more shots.
Hey, Grandma.
By demonstrating how the killings occurred, the detective is solidifying the fact that this shooting was not in self-defense or in any way provoked by his grandparents.
My grandpa treated me terribly. Nobody would ever believe it. He's assaulted me before. He's done so many different things wrong to me.
Yeah, because he probably never did those things. He's trying to justify what he did to him by saying, well, he did these things to me.
Okay. But he didn't do anything to you that night.
And it's just, I could never report any of it. Because my grandma would always vouch for him and make me look like the bad one. Like, he'd smoke pot with me. And I'd tell it to the cops, and he'd just be like, nope, never happened.
Notice that Isaiah's hands are palm up as he talks, which is known as the rogatory position. When someone holds their hands in this way, they may be pleading with the other person to believe what they're saying.
I do that.
The rogatory position indicates
I do that when I be telling some of my stories. Come on, man. I mean, I was hanging. You're just hanging out. Yeah. Oh my God, bro. That reminds me. Oh my God. Oh God.
low confidence. So if someone makes a statement that they know for a fact is true, their body language should reflect high confidence.
When I got busted for paraphernalia, when I got put on probation, that was his fight. I tried so many times to tell the cops that, but they were like, it's in your room. And I was just like, it was his though.
The detective handles a question raised by Isaiah that is sure to come as a complete surprise.
Has their funerals been held yet?
No, I don't think they have, Isaiah. I don't know. I haven't heard.
Would there be any way I'd be able to go to them?
That I couldn't tell you. And I'll tell you, since you're shooting straight with me, I doubt it. Okay. I don't know. I don't make that call.
Well, I don't want my family to kill me anyways.
Okay.
Although we are able to hear from Isaiah throughout the interrogation, he spoke with us in an exclusive, never-before-heard interview where he expanded on the alleged abuse and gave us a deeper look into what he now believes led to that fateful day.
There wasn't any, in my head, there wasn't any make it to 18. I've gotten shot twice before I was 17. I didn't think I was going to be around that long. That wasn't a thought. I had no regard for my life whatsoever. Everything I did was so obviously a cry for help that it didn't make sense. And nothing good happened. Nobody tried to help, nothing. So in my head, I was like, all right, I'm on my own, so I'm just going to, I don't know, what do I do? And then once I'm on house arrest, you can't even get away from the problem at this point. So how do you eliminate the problem? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that other people failing me throughout my life is the reason I did it. At the end of the day, I'm the reason I did it. I chose to do what I did. But a lot of things could have happened if I would have had options.
Isaiah explains the alleged abuse that he endured at the hands of Rick and Janet.
Man, look, this dude could kiss my ass, bruh. When I was younger, when I grew up, bruh, from the age of I say 7 until the age of dudes started getting scared of me. Pretty much about 15. From 7 to 15, I was bullied mercilessly every single day. And then regardless of how bad the bullying was, I had to go back to school the next day. Never once did I run around, oh my God, this is so hard. No, if it's something that sucks, you just got to deal with it.
I had those kind of interactions where I'm like, hey, they'd call the cops, and I'd be like, he literally just hit me, and I defended myself. What am I supposed to do? Or, he had a bunch of plants in the backyard, and they knew about it. And they were like, oh, that's just ditchweed. Just leave that alone. They just pulled the plants and left them alone. And there was a few occasions where I was like, okay, he assaulted me, literally. And my grandma was like,
so
no,
much
it didn't
like
happen that
KT,
way.
bro.
He hit him first. And they'd be like, well, if you press charges, you're both going to go to jail because they both say that you did it first. And it's their word against yours. No one's going to listen
He
to
did it first.
Kid. Who cares about the kid, right?
Because you're doing the shit. It's you, nigga. It's you.
His claims about his feelings toward his grandmother seem to be ever-changing. During this particular account, it seems he's placing at least some of the blame on her, which is in contrast to his statements during his interrogation.
I wanted to kill my grandpa, but I never wanted to hurt my grandma.
She was a mega enabler, and the verbal abuse and the emotional abuse was from her. She was the one that was doing a lot of the screaming, and like she'd always back him up. And like, great example, I attempted. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna leave. And she's like, I wish you would have just ended up yourself and making it work. It would have been a lot easier on us. Like she'd say shit like that.
Well, I don't want to just tell my story because it'll help me get out. Because obviously I know that. That's one of the first thoughts. But the first thought, the initial thought is this could help a lot of kids. Like if some kid that's 16 years old is getting his ass beat, hears me talk about it and how it feels to be alone, and it helps them, and they actually go and talk to somebody about it, then that's worth telling my story. That's worth reliving all the points. Like the biggest thing I want to do with my life, I want to be an advocate for at-risk youth, because I feel like if somebody would have just talked to me and really understood what I was going through and been like, hey, I get that. Like,
no, if someone would have talked to him and agreed with the dumb shit he was doing, tell him that what he was doing was right, then he would have just kept doing more of it.
But you're okay. Like, you're not by yourself. I think that probably would have changed a lot, because the hardest part about it was feeling like I was alone.
Today, Isaiah has seemingly found a new path, even accomplishing some rehabilitative programming, along with achieving his career readiness certificate. His co-conspirator, Brandon Allers, took a plea agreement to testify against Isaiah and was sentenced to 18 years in prison for his part in the horrific murders. This story doesn't end here, though. When police were finally able to search the grandparents' home, they allegedly found numerous internet searches on one of the computers, locating various methods on how to kill someone. In another sickening find, according to news sources, authorities supposedly uncovered inappropriate photos of children. The pictures were allegedly found under the grandfather's account, but nothing else has ever been revealed about the horrendous discovery.
Motherfucker.
During Isaiah's trial, a clinical psychologist testified that during the time period of the crime, Isaiah possessed the emotional maturity of a 12 to 14-year-old.
Yeah.
But this did not stop the killer from facing the inevitable consequences. Initially, Isaiah was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But in an unexpected turn of events, the judgment was overturned. After 4 years behind bars, Isaiah was resentenced to life in prison with a chance at parole, without a minimum incarceration time. This means that there is no telling when or if he will be released.
That is by far the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. He literally passed a psychosis exam and then a week later killed his people. I say leave him in. Leave him in the booty house. Let them have their way with him, you know. Enough time for him to learn to freestyle and convert to Islam. You know, become a real black person. But yo, it's your boy BlastphamousHD. Twisms.